terms of
Prince
our
Harry may be
relationship, obviously
stupid,
there
but
have
she
been
is
layers
not.
attached to
Meghan plans to rob
public
royal
it has
property.
become.
Oh,
I
Lala,
don't
let
wish
me
to repeat
inquire,
myself.
do you enjoy
I do
watching
not want
films?
to be
Have
a
you
single
ever
dad.
seen those where
But I do-
individuals are destined to alter the course of a nation's fate? If you have, you'll likely grasp the essence of today's video very well. For those who haven't, I urge you to watch the entire video to delve into a real-life tale of fantasy. Even as I gathered the information to craft this video, I couldn't shake off the surreal feeling. Until now, the prevailing notion was that Meghan married Harry for fame and fortune. However, the reality is far more chilling than that. Please watch this video to its conclusion to uncover the truth. Meghan Markle, upon marrying into the royal family, harbored ambitions of reshaping the institution. Now, as she resides back in the US, a royal biographer suggests that the American public is beginning to see through her facade. The truth that has emerged is staggering. Meghan's scheme in marrying Harry was to usurp the royal institution and establish her own. It's a concept beyond the grasp of ordinary imagination, especially for a woman. The royal family's dread at having Meghan as a daughter-in-law is palpable. It was the Americans who exposed Meghan's intentions. Being American herself, Meghan's grand ambitions are met with skepticism by her compatriots. It's akin to a plot straight out of a fantasy film, yet Meghan envisions it playing out in reality. Perhaps, being an actress, she harbors aspirations of starring in grand productions, hence her paranoia extending to real life. To the royal family, she amounts to less than a speck. What delusions fuel Meghan's belief that she can topple the monarchy? Even if she were to practice for countless lifetimes, she'd still fall short. Andrew Loney, the author of Traitor King, remarked, "She felt like she could change the institution rather than go in and work from within. Meghan thinks everyone is going to bow to her and she can do exactly what she wants and she's not part of a team." It could be surmised that her upbringing in an unhappy family marked by oppression has bred a deep-seated disdain for the world, fueling her desire for dominance. Meghan seeks retribution against those who have wronged her. What a tragic tale. Moreover, Meghan is often likened to Wallis Simpson, the late Duchess of Windsor. Both were aspiring American actresses who wed into the royal family, and soon after, their spouses relinquished senior royal roles. The most striking parallel between these two figures lies in their penchant for manipulation, causing their husbands' reputations to plummet. Yet Meghan appears to surpass even Wallis Simpson in malevolence. Her machinations and deceptions rank her as unparalleled. Meghan's venomous nature will forever remain unmatched. Let me expound upon this matter, for it bears elucidation. Initially, the vast majority of Americans remained oblivious to her existence, perceiving her solely as a supporting figure in a relatively obscure Canadian television production. However, as news of her burgeoning romance with Harry began to circulate, so too did the sordid details of her past deeds. It was revealed that she callously terminated her first marital union by dispatching her rings via mail, subsequently embarking upon a dalliance with Harry while still entangled with a paramour from the Great White North. Moreover, she callously cast aside her devoted father, a man who had long stood by her side. Indeed, she presents a stark departure from the archetype of the girl next door, devoid of any semblance of moral rectitude. Her actions are driven not by virtue, but by an insatiable thirst for acclaim and adulation. As for Harry, perchance he perceives the true nature of Meghan's character, yet he recoils from the notion of acknowledging his folly. He relinquished the security and privilege afforded by his royal lineage, lured by the false promises of a woman whose true intentions he dare not admit. He may come to rue the day he turned his back on his heritage, yet to concede such a reality would entail a humiliation of unparalleled magnitude. Thus, he finds himself ensnared in a web of his own making, bereft of recourse or reprieve. His gravest misstep was placing faith in Meghan's honeyed words, a folly that shall haunt him henceforth. Meghan, meanwhile, harbors delusions of grandeur, envisioning Harry's royal status as a means to amass untold wealth through the guise of matrimonial gifts. Her audacious wedding plans, designed to enrich her coffers, have now come to naught, leaving her to resort to peddling preserves in a bid to stave off destitution. How much wealth shall satisfy her insatiable appetite? Her profligate tendencies, coupled with a penchant for revelry, belie her claims to nobility. Having forsaken the royal fold and squandered her riches, she now faces the stark reality of her own avarice, bound by the chains of penury. Indeed, good riddance to both Harry and Meghan, for they epitomize the archetype of the grifter, leeching off the trappings of celebrity whilst contributing naught of substance to society. Their entitlement, born of their royal connections, ought to be swiftly severed, lest they continue to inflict harm upon the unsuspecting populace. Let us unite our voices in clamor, compelling the royal family to divest them of their titles, thereby averting further misfortune at their hands. Alas, Harry and Meghan have kindled a conflagration of animosity, their actions fanning the flames of disdain across the globe. They squandered an opportunity to wield their influence for good, instead opting to exploit their royal status for personal gain, heedless of the consequences. Meghan's grand designs have unraveled before her very eyes, a testament to the immutable laws of karma. Indeed, it is a striking parallel, is it not? Jam, that saccharine confection, bears an uncanny resemblance to the very essence of Meghan herself. Its sickly sweetness, akin to her demeanor, clings to all it touches, attracting a swarm of opportunistic insects. Indulge in excess, and one risks succumbing to a nauseating sensation. Much like Meghan, it spreads thickly, masking its artificiality beneath a veneer of allure. As for myself, I stand as a vanguard against the proliferation of all things Meghan, for not only do I harbor a profound antipathy towards her, but I refuse to furnish her coffers with my hard-earned coin, knowing full well the havoc she wreaks upon the innocent denizens of the UK. Indeed, the parallels between Meghan and her comestibles are striking. Could it be that her jam harbors a darker secret akin to the insidious effects of opium? Might she seek to ensnare unwitting consumers in a web of addiction, all while feigning innocence? Recent revelations have laid bare the depths of her duplicity, leaving little doubt as to her true nature. Allow me to furnish thee with examples aplenty, though time permits only a mere glimpse into the depths of her deceit. Consider, if thou wilt, the stage spectacles that pass for their daily endeavors. From the ostentatious display at the American U.S. Polo Championship to the charade of the charity polo match, wherein victory is assured through manipulation rather than merit, each event is meticulously crafted to bolster their public image. Even their foray into the realm of culinary pursuits bears the hallmark of artifice, with acquaintances enlisted in a cynical bid for attention and acclaim. Yet, despite their best efforts to deceive, discerning eyes see through the facade, rendering their machinations naught but folly. Moreover, it is abundantly clear that Meghan lacks the sagacity of a wise individual. Mistaking the royal family's forbearance for weakness, she presumed herself to be the sole arbiter of intelligence, blind to the presence of seasoned professionals and entrenched traditions. When faced with opposition, her response was not one of introspection or humility, but of petulance and recrimination. Her departure from the royal fold, far from a dignified retreat, was marred by baseless accusations and vindictive slander, a testament to her own hubris and folly. In truth, Meghan's aspirations of grandeur are but a fanciful delusion. She is but a mere ant amidst the grandeur of royalty, her designs for overthrow nothing more than a quixotic reverie. To dream of establishing a new institution is akin to tilting at windmills, a folly of monumental proportions. Let her slumber, then, and indulge in her fantasies, for reality shall soon awaken her from her reverie. As for us, let us eschew ambition in favor of righteousness, lest we too succumb to the allure of vanity and deceit. The next part we will discuss the inexhaustible avarice of the narcissistic Meghan begets dire consequences, foremost among them the plight of her offspring Archie and Lily. This concern transcends the confines of royal scandal, for it is the innocent children who bear the brunt of their mother's self-serving machinations. The fate of these children, especially young Lily at a tender age of 2, gives rise to profound concern. They are ensnared in the web of their mother's narcissism, exploited time and again for her own PR pursuits, while their father, plagued by addiction, shows scant regard for their well-being. Separated from the protective embrace of the royal family, these children languish in isolation, denied the familial bonds and privileges befitting their lineage. The question arises, will they ever inherit the royal privileges that await them as they grow older? Will Lily, seventh in line to the throne, have the opportunity to don a royal tiara on her wedding day? Traditionally, royal tiaras symbolize lineage and majesty, passed down through generations. Yet, in Lily's case, the prospect of such regal adornment remains uncertain. Will she be deprived of this cherished privilege, a victim of her parents' tumultuous departure from royal duties? Consider the precedent set by previous princesses who adorned themselves with tiaras steeped in history and tradition. From Princess Beatrice's Queen Mary's diamond fringe tiara to Princess Eugenie's Greville emerald cocoschnick crown, these artifacts serve as a testament to the enduring legacy of the British monarchy. As for Lily, her future remains shrouded in uncertainty. Legal strictures dictate her path to matrimony, casting doubt on the possibility of a royal wedding. The specter of King Charles's ailing health further complicates matters, raising questions about the timing and circumstances of Lily's potential nuptials. One can envision a scenario in which Lily hastens her wedding plans, spurred by the imminent passing of King Charles. In such a scenario, she could seek to capitalize on the attention surrounding the ailing monarch, cementing her status as the favorite granddaughter. Yet the question remains, will Lily have access to a royal tiara on her wedding day? The prospect seems remote, given the Spencer family's reluctance to lend their tiara to outsiders. Without a UK upbringing, Lily may find herself bereft of this cherished tradition, her wedding day devoid of the regal splendor that befits her royal lineage. In conclusion, the fate of Princess Lily remains uncertain, her future marred by the shadow of her parents' tumultuous departure from royal life. While the allure of a royal tiara may elude her grasp, one can only hope that she finds solace in the enduring bonds of family and tradition. It's quite likely that Harry never gave much consideration to the Spencer tiara or the selection of tiaras worn by women in his family until Meghan entered his life with her peculiar obsession with tiaras. Whether there's a tiara for Lily probably doesn't concern him much. His focus appears to be on status and financial gain, with little regard for jewelry except to please Meghan. Harry may believe that the tiara rightfully belonged to his mother, and by extension to him. Alternatively, he might still be operating under the mindset of what Meghan wants. Meghan gets Harry's entitlement is evident. However, the probability of Lily receiving the Spencer crown is quite low, as it's expected to go to Charlotte. William would likely purchase it for Charlotte rather than it being gifted to her. Though, if the article is accurate and William and his uncle share a close bond, perhaps he would have lent it to them for Charlotte's wedding if he were still alive at the time. Furthermore, what if this article was a ploy by Earl Spencer because Meghan is requesting the tiara? That would be rather amusing. Unless Earl Spencer is in dire straits, it's unlikely they'd sell the family tiara. There's likely a sense of pride in keeping it within the family due to its association with Diana. However, if it were to be sold, William would probably be the buyer due to his familial ties and Diana's legacy. As for Lily wearing the tiara, it would require her father to procure or rent one for her. Charles probably won't be around by the time she marries, and William wouldn't lend historic jewels to someone he doesn't know. Moreover, Lily isn't a Spencer, and the family isn't acquainted with her well enough to lend her the tiara. Additionally, it's highly unlikely that Charlotte will inherit it. The next Earl will likely take possession. It's worth noting that one doesn't need to be royal to wear a tiara. Modern etiquette dictates that a tiara may first be worn at age 18, typically by a bride. However, with society's shift towards more casual attire and fewer formal events where tiaras are appropriate, Lady Lily may not have any occasion to wear one. If Lily chooses to remain in California and opts for a casual wedding venue, a tiara would be out of place. However, if she inherits her mother's fashion sense, she might opt for a simpler adornment like a paste coronet for beachside events. Unfortunately, due to her parents' greed, Lily won't enjoy the privileges of nobility. She won't receive anything from the royal family, no tiara, no access to royal grounds. Todger may believe his children deserve grand taxpayer-funded weddings at St. Paul's and Westminster. But by then, with William on the throne, such events for those not directly in line are unlikely. Beatrice and Eugenie were the last non-working royals to have such weddings. Speaking of her future wedding, my wish for Lily is a celebration surrounded by loving family and friends. If Meghan and Harry don't change their ways, almost anyone else has a better chance of marrying into the family. Even a Make-A-Wish kid would stand a better chance. Titling and ennobling the children was cruel, as they'll never be more than royal adjacent. If Meghan wants Lily to wear a tiara, they'll have to commission one for her, much like Ferguson's parents did. However, unless the royal family establishes a relationship with Archie and Lily, it's unlikely Lily will wear a tiara. Shipping a tiara to America involves multiple logistical hurdles, including security. Plus, she won't have the same relationship to the monarch as Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie did. They wore tiaras on their wedding day not due to their place in the line of succession, but because of their relationship to the monarch. Since Lily will be marrying during King William's reign and will only be his niece, it's unlikely she'll wear a tiara owned by the royal family. In a rare scenario, if the royal family were to display generosity, even if Lily were born via a surrogate, she would still be considered Harry's child and King Charles's grandchild. If she were raised in the UK, had a relationship with her father's family, and got married there, Lady Lily Diana might be loaned a tiara by Queen Camilla or Queen Catherine. This could happen only if Meghan were not in the picture to disrupt things. Lily wouldn't necessarily need to be in Los Angeles to wear a tiara from the royal collection, she would just need to be trusted. However, returning to reality, King Charles summoning Meghan and Harry back to England this summer raises questions. Perhaps King Charles will request a DNA assessment to confirm if the children are indeed his grandchildren. If confirmed, it could mean royal privileges for the children. Nonetheless, the likelihood of King Charles extending such an invitation is questionable, given his health condition and the family's existing challenges. This might not be the time to address concerns about the children. However, if King Charles genuinely is concerned about the children, insisting on their upbringing in the UK to retain their prince and princess titles could be a straightforward way to ensure their safety. It's unlikely they would lose their titles, as Meghan would likely bring or send them to the UK rather than risk having the titles revoked. Harry and Meghan Markle's relentless criticism of the British royal family, replete with unfounded allegations and malicious slander, has set them on a trajectory vastly different from what was once anticipated. Their actions have not only cast a shadow over their own future, but also jeopardized the privileges that their children might have otherwise enjoyed within the monarchy. Meghan's deeply ingrained narcissistic inclinations propel her towards a relentless pursuit of dominance and control, extending her influence over every aspect of their lives, including the upbringing of Harry's children. It's plausible that she harbors a deep-seated anxiety regarding the inevitable comparisons that will be drawn between her own parenting abilities and those of Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge. This apprehension likely stems from the stark contrast that may emerge when juxtaposing the behaviors and accomplishments of George, Charlotte, and Louis with those of Harry's children. The present circumstances call for King Charles to firmly establish his control and influence within the monarchy. Given his recent health issues, he has likely gained a deeper appreciation for the critical significance of maintaining a clear and orderly line of succession. Consequently, it is only fitting that Meghan and Harry's offspring are granted the identical rights and benefits as their royal counterparts. This encompasses not only the privilege of dwelling within England, the ancestral home of the monarchy, but also being recognized as legitimate heirs within the established line of succession. Charles might contemplate exerting his authority by officially requesting evidence regarding the existence of Meghan and Harry's children, possibly through extending a formal invitation for them to visit Balmoral, one of the esteemed royal residences. Should Archie and Lily fail to respond to or decline this invitation, it could introduce a level of uncertainty regarding their rightful place in the line of succession, thereby prompting a reevaluation of their status within the royal family hierarchy. In summary, it is imperative for Meghan and Harry to halt their relentless criticisms aimed at the royal family and instead redirect their focus towards acknowledging and appreciating the kindness and support extended to them. By doing so, they stand to gain not only personal peace and stability but also contribute to creating a more harmonious environment within the royal circles. Moreover, should Archie and Lily truly exist, their well-being and future prospects would significantly benefit from a cessation of hostilities and a return to familial unity. With King Charles assuming the throne, it becomes all the more essential for him to establish a connection with his successors. As the head of the monarchy, it is incumbent upon him to foster a sense of unity and continuity within the royal lineage, thereby ensuring a smooth transition of power and preserving the integrity of the institution for generations to come. Therefore, Meghan and Harry must recognize the significance of their role in this process and act accordingly for the greater good of the royal family and the nation as a whole. What are your thoughts on today's story? Feel free to comment below. If you have suggestions for other topics about the royal family, please let us know. I hope the video above resonates with you. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, and see you in future videos on Royal 365's YouTube channel.